Hey, it's me, earthbattv, and here's everything we know about Off the Road 2. Let's start with the most basic stuff, like the release date. OTR 2 will release on May 25th on Android, iOS and PC through Google Play Games for PC. If you've seen my latest community post, you'll know that there is currently a pre-registration going on. Why is it important? Because random 1000 people will be chosen to play OTR 2 beta early. How early? Possible even at the end of April. However, even before that, there will be another closed beta version for 60 selected testers only, which will happen sooner than you think. This will be the moment when for the first time we will be able to play the almost completed version of OTR 2 ourselves, and I will have access to it, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see a lot of early gameplay. There are going to be a lot of new features too added since we had that very first beta, so let's just go through everything that we know will be included in these new beta versions, as well as the global release version. On day 1 there are going to be 31 vehicles. More will be added later in updates, and one of these will be a remastered version of Titan from OTR 1. This is already confirmed to come later, but on release there are going to be cars, trucks, boats, planes and helicopters. Did I forget about anything? Oh yes, for those who still don't know, OTR 2 is going to feature some AI traffic. These cars are not going to be drivable by the player, they will just roam around your world, this time actually following roads and even obeying some simple traffic laws. One new feature that was just revealed is the new car painting and material system. We already knew that OTR 2 is going to feature different paint finishes like glossy, matte, metallic and more. However, a few days ago Arpad Korda from Dogbite Games revealed how amazing they look. Honestly, I would never expect a mobile game to have such an incredible light simulation. And it gets even better. You can mix two different colors together to get a unique behavior in low light and highlight. We also knew that OTR 2 will introduce a new tool for creating your own liveries, adding vinyls or stickers, whatever you want to call it. It has very unique features that I never seen in any other game, like adjusting the emissiveness of a sticker. It means that we will be able to create liveries that glow in the dark. I can already imagine creating custom light bars. I was quite concerned that because of this all we'll lose pre-made liveries, but actually no, this feature is there and it's even better. Now we can choose out of a few different variations that are tailor-made for each vehicle. And yes, I said vehicle intentionally, you can now apply liveries to boats, helicopters and even planes. Another huge change affects multiplayer, which was rebuilt from the ground up, and I mean actually not like in Forza Motorsport from 2023. In OTR 1, the entire multiplayer room was always hosted on the phone of a person who created said room. This meant insane ping when you were too far from the person you wanted to join and generally very unstable connection. Finally, OTR 2 ends with it all. Now we are going to have an actual server infrastructure which will result in a lot better connection quality and performance. Another advantage of it is that finally more than 4 people will be able to play together at the same time. 6 people to be exact, and most importantly we can now get out of the car in multiplayer. Basically the entire game was made with multiplayer in mind from the beginning. Every activity that can be done in single player is now possible in multiplayer too. It's a lot more social-oriented experience than OTR 1 was. So far, the only difference between single and multiplayer is that when playing alone, you can spawn 5 vehicles, that includes cars, trailers, boats or any other vehicle, and in multiplayer, each player can only spawn 2, which means you can potentially have up to 12 cars spawn in one session. However, in the first beta, we found a glitch that allowed us to spawn 20 cars without experiencing any performance issues, which brings us to the next point, which is optimization. This is a trademark of every game made by Dogbite Games, and in OTR 2 it's even more impressive than ever. The first beta already was running surprisingly well considering how graphically advanced this game was, and I can't wait to see how good the performance is in the release version. I will play this game emulated on PC mostly, but I will test it on few different phones I gathered, so you could make a round estimate on how well it will run on your device. So that's another reason for you to subscribe. Next we have the map itself. With the area of 256 kilometers squared, it's one of the biggest maps in history of racing games and truly the biggest on mobile racing games market. At the release, the entire terrain is going to be explorable. However, only two first islands are going to have challenges and stuff available at the release. Other islands are going to have new challenges and buildings added in updates, of course. Many of you asked me about how new islands are going to be added, and I got the answer for that too. Once the islands we already have will be filled with activities, the map is slowly going to be expanded with new islands in between. The main target of this game is to have absolutely no loading screens during gameplay. The developers are aiming for absolute immersion. Let's move on to customization. Each car will have a few vastly different custom parts, including bumper removals, wide body kits, headlights, fenders and even steering wheels. The interiors will also receive a huge update. The dashboard now glows in the dark like in an actual car. Also, not in the release version but later, players' hands animations are going to be added. This is something that was hugely missing from OTR 1. You can even already see the steering wheel rotating in third-person view. Let's talk about progression. It will revolve around unlocking new island, but it's a bit different than you think. As I said, you can explore the entire map from the beginning. The only limitations is that you can't collect coins and participate in challenges on the maps you haven't unlocked. But how to unlock an island? You need to buy a house, fire watchtower or any building that you can live in. They can be bought with coins, but only if you have enough scrap parts. This is another new feature. You can collect trash scattered around the entire map and throw it into a crusher to recycle materials they are made of. It might look a bit boring, but honestly this is the most satisfying thing I ever done in a game. But how do you collect the trash? This is another new great feature. You can pick up most of the small items that you find and even throw them around. Everything you find can be tossed into your trailer and moved around the map even in multiplayer. It's all possible thanks to another amazing upgrade, the physics. OTR 2 uses a new physics engine called Jolt Physics. This engine was also used in games like Horizon Forbidden West and Death Stranding 2, and it's the first time ever that it is used in a mobile game. It allows for incredibly accurate collisions, so no more creeping through the ground that happened a lot in OTR 1. Thanks to this new physics engine, it's also now possible to transport vehicles on top of other vehicles. Also, this will allow cars to have different behavior depending on the surface they are on, like asphalt, sand, grass, and it can be modified by using few different types of tires. That is also a confirmed feature. Another huge change involves the graphics engine. Dogwhite Games developed their own brand new engine, which is something that not many game studios do nowadays, and it's actually the best thing about this entire game. It allows them to completely customize it, adding features that are unavailable in other engines and also optimize the game incredibly well due to the fact that the engine is made literally just for this game and doesn't include stuff that is not used and would normally decrease the overall performance. As you all should know by now, in order for your device to be compatible with OTR 2, it means that the game is visible to you on Play Store and can be downloaded, you need at least 3 GB of RAM. The more the better, of course. How many frames per second you get is completely different story and it depends mostly on your GPU model. There are thousands of different configurations, so it's impossible to say how well will it run on your device, but as soon as the beta version releases, I will test it on every phone I have with all graphics settings, and I want to ask all other YouTubers to do that too, so you can have at least a comparison to estimate how well it will run on your own device. The minimum Android system version is still unknown, but personally I wouldn't expect the game to come on anything older than Android 8. On App Store, however, we can see even more specific requirements, including the actual size of the game, which is just 885 megabytes, which I think is truly incredible for such a huge game. There are also minimum operating system versions that you can see here, and the fact that OTR 2 will be even available on Vision OS is just interesting, I would say. Of course, don't expect a VR-like experience, it will be probably just a big screen in front of the user, like most of the games on the platform. While checking the App Store for potential additional requirements, we noticed that more details were just added, just yesterday to be exact. We can see that the game is rated 13 plus on iOS, which is surprising because Android version is still PEGI free. The reasons for that are listed here, so as you can see, OTR2 will still be family friendly. That higher age rating is just given automatically for player-generated content, which are the libraries in this case, and loot boxes, which are just card packs we know from OTR1. Age rating is not the only thing that this App Store page revealed. We can see that the game features a VIP membership as well as some Elite membership, which is going to be something like a season pass, because OTR2 will actually have some weekly or monthly events, but this is basically all we know about it. We can also see the names of the vehicles in the game, and don't worry, this can still be unlocked with in-game money, just like it was in OTR1. You don't need to pay your hard-earned dollars to get them, but of course you can, if you are in a hurry. I can already recognize the names like Stinger GTI and Sakura Shogun RSX, great name by the way. We also know what a ferry is, the other are unknown, however I assume these two are some boats, maybe even those luxury yachts like the ones you saw in the beginning of this video. I guess this is all that could be said about the game for now. Hopefully you learned something you didn't know yet. If you want to know more, watch my other videos about this topic and subscribe to not miss the upcoming ones, because as I said, I will be getting OTR2 beta really soon and you don't want to miss all of the gameplays I will be posting. And actually we are really close to hitting 15,000 subs. Also, if you want to meet some likely-minded people, you can join our Discord server, link is in the description. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.